Like if this is your first class, we were getting started with the DevOps course, wherein we'll be starting with Git today. And yesterday we had a demo or a high level picture of the basic concepts of what is DevOps, who should learn DevOps kind of. If anyone new to this class, I mean, if this is your first class, I would request everyone to watch the watch the recording of yesterday's class so that you will gain the context better. Right, today we'll get started with the version control systems. Before I get into even version control systems, just one quick go through the our portal or our LMS learning management system. Like I believe like whoever have enrolled, I think majority of the guys who joined are enrolled. So like once you go through this, you should be seeing I mean, log in with your account. If you haven't yet enrolled, you can just create a free account here and go to your LMS. I mean, once you have registered, you should be going to My Learnings. If it is for the first time, go to that free trial. So this is where you will see our program, July 27th batch. Okay, you can see here, this is where the class recording is posted. Yesterday's class recording is available here, DevOps intro. And this is the yesterday's class recording. I mean, yesterday's demo, right? So it is already available here. From today onwards, the recordings will be posted here in the same portal under Git version control systems. You will see today class. So this is where the class recording is. If this is your first class, request you to go through this, and you can also get a trail access for this for yesterday's class. So everyone, please try to create a free account and go through this one. Okay, today we'll be starting with target. Let me also relate to the demo or the CI/CD pipeline, which we discussed on a high level yesterday. Just a second. Mhm. Okay, so this is the pipeline we were talking about, just a high level picture like CI/CD pipeline. This is your pipeline where once developer writes his code, it will be pulled by Jenkins, build through Maven, execute the test case, automate everything. So today we are here starting with the first tool in our course or first tool in our pipeline where the pipeline triggering begins, which is Git. So today we'll get started with this. Git falls under version control systems. So what is a version control system? Why do we need a version control system? Who should use it? Let's deep dive into all of those things today. So what is a version control system? Like majority of you might be aware of it, or there are also people new to it. So let me just go give you a complete background of what a version control system is. Version control systems, to understand this better, you can imagine you can consider a project where all the project work is kept on some shared folder or the shared drive, right? Let's assume all the files are placed here and a team with multiple people are working on this, right? They download the files from here, make the changes, put the files back. That's how they're working. Let's assume there is a person A. Okay, he want to make changes on file one, so he got the file downloaded. Okay, and he made the changes on this. Okay, once he made the changes on this file, uh, okay, let's say he was still making the changes. There is another person, isn't it? Multiple people may have to work on the similar file at the same time and same file at the same time. So we also got this file and making changes. They both downloaded the file at the same time, but A kept the file back, let's say, on 1st July. Okay. Then B also has placed his changes. He has completed and he placed the changes on 2nd July on this remote shared location. I'm talking about a scenario without version control systems. So if this is the case, after the person B placed his changes, file 1 on this remote location will have which person changes?
File 2.
B person changes.
B. Person changes will be there, right? Because
Last one B.
yes, because that's a last change. B person change either. B will be overwriting the changes of A. B doesn't know that he is not doing that intentionally. He doesn't know that he is doing it, right? Even A doesn't know that his changes are being overwritten. So this is what happens. General logic, right? Generally, this is what happens. But if this keep on continuing, right? If this keep on going on, if this kind of thing, because in a project there might be 10 people working on a set of files, right? So if this keep on continuing, at some point of time, project gets corrupted or messed up, right? So how to overcome this problem? Can someone sit and track their changes, whether the changes are safe or not every day or every minute? Like how that happens without any system in place. So that's where one of the reasons where version control systems comes in, means it allows people to work eh, simultaneously or parallelly on the same file at the same time. Is it possible if you don't use any system in place manually? Is it possible? Right? So that's one of the things which version control system does. How we will do everything, we will do with a hands-on on the lab, right? So this is what it happens, and then that's one thing. And then another reason, another thing could be, let's say application is working fine till 7 a.m. today. Suddenly at 7:30 or 7:15, let's say, application got crashed. Immediately, we want to identify what's happening, like what's the issue with the application, what went wrong, and we need to fix it. So you have to search through the complete files, check what is happening and all if there is no system in place. But what if there is a system? Means we need a system in place which can tell you that person A made changes on file 1 at 7:05 AM on line number 4, which made to this crash. If you have this kind of detailed logging, which person made changes to what files at what time, that's where again version control system comes in. It can help you to remove these changes immediately, right? Whichever made at 7.5, so that the system would be back. So that kind of detailed logging is necessary to see, like to track the changes, like to keep track of the changes happening on your project folders, right? That's one thing where like logging, we need a system which can help us with a detailed logging like this. Or else, let's say you're working on, okay, developer A is working on file 1 and it's a version 1. Now client came with modification, so they want to prepare version 2. This person A have modified the same file and made version 2. There is no more version 1. He just overwritten and made this new file. But let's say later on, right, client version 2 is not working fine. They want to go to version 1. But version 1 is no more. He has overwritten the changes. Means again rework. He has to develop that V1 version again, right? So instead, maintain the backups, maintain the versions. Don't work on the same one, right? You have to make the better versions. You have to maintain the versions because you never know which version has to be retrieved later on, right? So maintain the versions, maintain the backups. These are all the things which you need to maintain for in a project, right? That's where version control system comes in. If these are some of the reasons how version control system can help us, is that making sense? Then comes the question, who will use it? You might be thinking, okay, these are files, developers are using it. Yes, developers, it's mandatory. Of course, they write the program files, it's mandatory for them. How is it helpful for DevOps teams? Yes, even DevOps teams will have configuration files, right? Like Kubernetes manifest files, Terraform configuration files, Ansible playbooks, right? All these configuration files need to be version controlled, right? The DevOps team also will have a group of people working on it. They need to maintain the versions. That's where these version control systems comes into picture. That's where you need to learn version control system. I would say anyone in IT should learn it. Even testers, to manage their test scripts, they have to learn version control system. So everyone should learn version control system for this reason. And which files need will be version controlled? Any files can be version controlled. Any static files, right? Irrespective, if it is developers, they might be having some program files like Java, .NET, C Sharp, or Python, and so on. If it is DevOps team, we'll have Kubernetes manifest files, we'll have Terraform configuration files, and so on. So whatever be the file is, right? Here the focus is first our interest is to version control the files. Later on, we'll apply the same Git to our Terraform projects, Kubernetes, and so on. Am I making sense? Hope this much is clear for all of you. Why do you need a version control system and what is a version control system? So version control system is something which can help you with a detailed logging of the changes happening to your files. Similarly, maintaining backups, versions, allowing multiple people to work simultaneously without getting corrupted or messed up, right? So that's all. These are all the things what a version control system does, and everyone should learn version control system from the perspective of managing your project work. This is one aspect, one perspective of version control systems. There is another perspective of version control systems that, okay, one thing, okay, you are managing it. Another aspect is, okay, developer have made some changes. They have made some changes. Whenever they made a change, we need a system which can identify, pull the changes, build the code in the pipeline, test the code in the pipeline, execute, I mean, deploy it through Docker, Kubernetes, and so on, and then deploy to prod, right? So to trigger this pipeline, whenever developer made a change, it should be identified. How do you identify it? That is the part of learning of it from the perspective of CI/CD. We will learn that aspect also as a DevOps engineer. So first we'll learn from the perspective of managing our files, then we'll learn from the perspective of CI/CD. So this is what version control systems, and that's what that's the reason why you should learn it. Now, based on their architecture, they were categorized as centralized version control systems and distributed version control systems. Coming to centralized version control systems, if you see here, this is a central server or remote repository, right? This is called the central server or remote repository where all the project work, all the code base would be. And this is the working copy you are seeing is the workstation of individual DevOps person or developer or a tester, whoever is a collaborator for this project. So each one will connect to the central server or remote repository, get the changes to their local machine, make the changes and put it back. As simple as that. This is what is called centralized version control systems, but it has got drawbacks like see, to connect to the remote server and get the changes, you need to have network connectivity always, right? If for some reasons networks are disconnected, entire work is halted. Am I correct? So that's one thing. Like networks should be always stable. If network disconnected, entire work will be halted. Second thing, if for some reasons central server is crashed or something happened, it is like a single source of truth, right? So chances of recovery are very less. So these are the two drawbacks of this centralized version control systems. Means like I told you, the architecture, based on the architecture, they were categorized like this. And these are the drawbacks of centralized version control systems. To overcome these drawbacks, there came another type of version control systems called distributed version control systems. Distributed, if you see here, let me explain you. This is the general architecture of distributed control systems. I mean, distributed version control systems. Again, you will have a central server or remote repository. Central server or remote repository. This is the workstation of each individual collaborator, right? Or a DevOps person, whoever you consider. So this is the workstation of individual user. So how do they get the changes? They will maintain every user, every developer or every DevOps person, a collaborator to this will have a copy of the remote repository, which is called local repository. Everyone will have a copy of the central server or central repository, which is called local repository. It will be present, a copy will be present there. And again, they'll not work directly. They'll work on some other folders called working directory, make changes here. Once they made changes here, they'll move their changes to local, from local to remote. Means, for example, let's say there is no network connectivity. Still, you can work on your local repository. Still, you can work here, right? Only to move your changes to remote, you need network connections, right? Because you have a copy, you still can work on that local. Am I making sense? So network connectivity will not be impacted much unless you have to push or pull from remote. Push or pull means Okay, once you are completed your changes, let's say you are a DevOps person one, you made your changes, you want to push them to remote, right? That's where you need to have the connectivity, or else you want to create a copy from remote to local, that's where you need a connectivity. Otherwise, see, the pushing pulling from remote will be less frequent commands. Majority of the times you work in your local, majority of the times you work here, right? So you don't need network connectivity, means entire work is not halted, at least you can keep continuing on your local, right? So this is what is local repository and the central server. So first drawback of the central server, central repositories is overcome. Second one, suppose the central server is crashed, chances of recovery are also more, because see, you everyone is having a copy of that remote repository which is called as local repository, right? So it's very easy to recover it. So chance of recovery are also great. So distributed version control systems are faster in nature, and this is the distributed version control systems are more advantageous than centralized version control system, and Git falls under this distributed version control systems. And what are the tools that fall under centralized version control systems? SVN, all the old tools, SVN, TFS, Perforce, these falls under this. And Git, Mercurial, fossils come under distributed architecture. Is this much clear, everyone? What are centralized version control systems and distributed? Distributed version control systems are more widely used, and in particular, Git is the very widely used in all modern DevOps projects. So that's the reason for choosing Git here in the course. We'll be mastering Git here. And also, if you know one version control system, maybe in case if you want to switch over to other tools, it's very easy because concepts would be similar, analogy will be similar. Is this much clear? Any questions from anyone in this part? A thumbs up, a quick confirmation in the chat, or a thumbs up will help me. Or any questions, you can unmute and ask the questions. Are you able to use the chat?
It is disabled, ma'am.
Okay, I have enabled it. Can you now see that?
It still shows it disabled.
I just enabled it. Just type in something.
No, it is still showing disabled only.
Is that the case with everyone?
Yes, for me as well, showing disabled.
Yes,
Here I'm seeing participant can chat with hosts and co-hosts. Can you type in some message? Is it not allowing?
No.
It is working, right?
Actually, I opened the new chat. So for
showing chat is disabled, ma'am.
actually there are new two charts, everyone and the new chart. So
Yeah.
you if you open the new chart, you can type.
Just open the new one.
Yeah,
Yes,
open the
ma'am.
new.
For
Okay.
everyone, it is disabled. Only to the host we can do it.
Yes. Okay. So I think this is clear. Can I consider this as clear? Right. Okay. I got confirmations from you guys. Yeah. Thank you all for confirming. So this is the architecture. So Git falls under this distributed version control systems. So now let us deep dive into the architecture of Git, right? We'll deep dive. This is the architecture of in general for distributed version control systems. But how is it in particular with Git and all? Let's go ahead. Let's proceed. Before going to the architecture of Git, here is a graph, a Google Trends graph comparing different tools, like different version control systems I have listed, like Git, SVN, TFS, fossils, and so on. Right? So if you see here, Git is the blue one, right? There is no good competitor for Git. Git is clearly winner in this category, right? You can, this is a graph from 2020. You can also check the latest graph from Google Trends, right? So Okay, and now this is the architecture of Git in particular. Let us try to understand this. And now, like we discussed, there'll be a local repository, two repositories, right, in version control systems. I mean, in distributed version control systems in particular. So this is a local repository, right? Local repository. This is this is the local computer, local workstation. In that, you will have a local repository. We'll represent it with LR. One second. This is a local repository, right? Where actually, which will be a copy of your remote. Local repository, which is a copy of remote. Again, like if I want to make a change, let's say I want to create some Terraform manifest file, or if I want to make any changes, I wouldn't directly do on the local. Whereas I'll have my own directory, separate folder. If you are a Windows person, it's a folder where I would make my changes. Local repository, exact copy of the remote, which you might have copied from remote. Okay, this is a local. Now, okay, once I am done with my changes, I have to put it to remote, right? So how do we do that? It's not that you can not directly do like this. From your folder, from your some random folder, you cannot push this. No, this is not possible. Even this is not possible. You cannot just directly push to local. No. Then how do changes move to the remote? First, you have to move the changes to your something called staging area. What is the staging area? You can also call it as index area, a virtual layer, index area, or a virtual layer. Okay, first you have to move your changes to this virtual layer or index area, whatever you call it, from your working directory. Working directory, you can consider it like a folder in your system. Local repository is also some folder in your system. So from your working directory, first you have to move your changes to your staging area. From staging area, you have to move your changes to your local. Okay, once you move your changes to local, only from here you can move your changes to remote. This is the process. This is called, it's like a 3 steps before your changes move to remote. And this is called Git tree. Okay, that's called Git tree, and that's how you move your changes. You might be having question, what is the importance of the staging area, index area, why we should push here, what is the importance of it? It's a virtual layer. It works like a preview or else a pre-check before you move your changes to remote. What is meant by again preview? Let me give you a simple example. See, we are going to see all these components today in the lab. Okay, we are going to execute what all we are discussing. Okay, before that, I'm explaining you theoretically before we get on to the hands-on. So just understand, let's suppose you have 10 files here, but you want to move only 5 files to local, right? So it means that you should put only those 5 files here. So means in simple, it will help you have better control on what changes are going to your local repositories. It's like a pre-check, preview before your changes goes to your local repository, right? So that's how this staging layer works, and this is the architecture of Git. Working directory, staging area, local repository, and then remote. Unless you push your changes to remote, no one else can see the changes. Let's say we are a team of 10 people, we are a Devops team. Let's say I'm making my changes in my laptop. Okay, those changes cannot be visualized on the, those changes cannot be visualized by others. You can't see those changes unless I push to remote, right? That's why we have to push to remote for others to collaborate and use it in a project, right? So this is the architecture. And if you are clear with this, I'll go with some interesting points here.
Yeah, up to local repo, we can keep it in locally only, right, ma'am?
From
remote,
local repo, the yellow box, you can push to remote repo.
okay, remote repo means my server. It's a centralized server.
Centralized server where a team can collaborate. Like all the 10 people will have access. They can see the changes if you push.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
But this is the path from working directory to staging area to local, local to remote. This is not possible. This is not
Okay,
possible. No. Even this is, sorry. Even from here you cannot know, right? So only from
okay,
local you can push to remote.
Once
okay.
put it in the staging area, can we remove it back and do
We
any
can.
changes and free?
We can. That will be, we'll have complete control on these things. Like if you may push to staging area, if you want to remove from there, yes, you can do. Let's say you placed already in local, you want to remove, yes, you can do. Even after pushing to remote also, if you want to remote, you can do. Every change will be revertible. Reverting is a concept in Git. We will understand that also. Yes, local repo is like a copy of a remote Shankar. I'm not using the terminology as clone as of now because it has got a complete meaning with respect to Git. We will learn that. Right? Until then, yes, it's a copy of remote. Okay. Now let me tell you an interesting, very interesting thing. Till now we were talking about this is some folder. This is some other folder. Strictly, actually speaking, these two folders are the same. Then if they are same, how come you say it's a local repository and working directory? They are same, they are same physically, they are same, but logically they are different. What is meant by that? Physically same and logically different. Let's see. Let us assume, I'm showing with an example. Let's say this is the folder, working directory or local repository, whatever you call it. It's the same, like I told you, it's physically the same folder. Okay. Suppose you have just created a file here. Okay, you might have created or copied from somewhere, whatever you place some file here means it is said to be just in the working directory. After creating a file, if you have, let me increase the font. Okay, after creating a file, if you run the command git add, then it is said to be in the staging area. After adding to staging area, if you exact commands we will learn. Okay, just understand, if you run this command, then only it's said to be in local repository. That's why they are logically, physically the same folder. Logically, that's how they are different. Got it right, all of you? Understood?
So this staging area, this is also matlab
Sorry?
same folder. The staging area, this is also same folder.
Staging area is a virtual layer. Yes, yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a
All
virtual
three
one.
are
You
same.
can't tell it's like a folder, it's a virtual layer. But yes, you can consider it like a same one only. Understood how logically they are different? Right? If you just have placed some file means it is said to be in the working directory. If you have run the command git add, then only it is said to be in the staging area. How to check the files in the staging area if it is a virtual layer, isn't it? We will learn that. I'll show you that. Similarly, if you have run git commit, yes, then it's said to be in local. Then you can push to remote. There are different commands. A lot of commands are there. Here I just listed few of them. We will learn them with the hands-on.
Ma'am, actually in same folder only itself, it's Git working directory, staging area, local repo, or
Yes,
in any.
same folder.
Okay.
It is the same folder, working directory, local repository. This is one and the only same folder.
It is
Okay.
in
So
the
we
same folder, but unless and until git add, git commit commands are run, it does not comes into virtual layer.
Hmm.
Okay.
If you just created, if you let's say you just placed a dropped a file into this folder, you will call it a yes, means you will tell that this file is in working directory. Okay.
Okay.
If you run this command git add on that file, how to run the commands we will learn. So once you run the command, then you will tell, okay, file is in the staging area. It's physically same folder. If you have run git commit, then we'll tell it's in the local repository. That is the guidance for the files to navigate through this path, like from working directory to staging area, from staging area to local repo, from local repo to remote. That's the git tree, 3 steps before it goes to remote. Understood everyone? Is this part clear for everyone? Feel free to put your questions if something is not clear. Clarifying the questions at the moment will be great. Like once whenever I'm asking for a question, please put the queries.
Just recap the what's in this session, man. Just recap.
Recap of this architecture.
Yes, ma'am. Git architecture.
In see, Git architecture is nothing but you will have a local repository. Your local repository will have three components: working directory, staging area, and local repository. Actually, your local system will have three components: working directory, staging area, and local repository. Working directory, local repository are the one and the same folder. Physically, they are same, but logically, it is different. Right? Initially, you will create a file, then you will say the file is in the working directory. If it is in the, like if you have run the command git add, it is set to be in the staging area. And if you run the command git commit, then it will set to be in the local repository. That's how your changes move from working directory to local staging to local repository. Staging area is a virtual layer which will help you, like it's like an index layer or a virtual layer where it works like a preview or a pre-check before your changes goes to local. Here, another interesting part is, let me talk about how do you create a local repository. How do you create a local repository? Okay, we understood that it's a copy of it, right? But let me tell you two use cases or two scenarios. First thing is, let's assume it's a new project. Okay, you joined a DevOps new project. There's nothing till now. Till now, it's all manual. Now they're getting into DevOps. So it's a new project, new repository. Now, how do you create local repos? Because it's a new project, there's nothing on remote. So you create a local repository, an empty local repository, made changes here, make changes here, right? Create your files, make changes, then push to remote. This is one way to create local repos. That's one use case. Second one is, assume that you joined a project which is already a 2-year-old project. You want to contribute as a DevOps engineer. Now there might be already a project on remote. So you copy from remote. Okay, again, yes, make your changes, improvise it, develop the files, and then push to remote. So this is how local repository can be created in two ways and two use cases. One is like a new project means there's nothing. You will create an empty local repository, keep your files, create your manifest files, then push to remote. That's how remote will be created for the first time. If it is already project is existing, if you have joined it, you can copy from remote and create a local repository. Understood? So those are the two use cases. First, we'll cover both the use cases. First, today we'll get started with this. Assuming it's a new project, there's nothing on remote, we'll create it from local, an empty one on local, and then we'll push to remote. Right? So today, so this is all about the Git architecture, and we were focusing about, we are focusing on this part today. We may not go to remote today. What is a remote repository? How it looks like? Before getting into that, there are many things we have to do on local. So first we'll get started with it. Also, we are assuming it's a new project. There's nothing on remote. We'll create a local repository and then we'll proceed. Good to go.
So you're going to create a local repository, but working directory is needed or not?
Working directory is?
Needed, right? Because you're segregating the files. Inside the, suppose I'm having some 15 files, but only 5 or 10 files only I'm going to push it to the local repository, in the sense how it should be behaved.
That's what we'll see that. Okay, like how it works, we'll see. We will do the hands-on, okay? Don't worry. I definitely know you'll have a lot of questions. What happens if this is the case? What happens when we have multiple files? We will learn that. Just understand this concept. Okay, any other questions relevant to that, we'll get started with our lab, and then those queries will be answered, obviously. And then we'll take up those questions again, right? So if you have understood this much, let me just take you through the installation part. Coming to Git, Git works on multiple operating systems. You can install it on Windows, Mac, Linux, and so on. It supports multiple operating systems. So you can use your laptop to work with Git. You don't need a separate system for this, right? You don't have to go for any AWS or anything. So just use your laptop and install Git. Like I told you, it works on multiple operating systems. Just a second. So how do you install it? Where do you get all those commands? How do we do that, right? First, I'll show you, like once your video is uploaded at the bottom, you will see the lab assignment for the day 1, or else you can also check here. Okay, here are the day-wise Git. How do you install it on Windows, on a Mac, on Linux? Everything is here. Okay, whatever I show you will be there. Now let me install it. Mine is a Mac. Let me show you how do you install. See, those are commands are available here, everything there. But rather than depending on those commands, you should know the way how you should do any tool installation. You should take the latest commands, Git installation. If you just go this, you will see the official website for Git, gitscm.com. Go to this download section. Here you choose your operating system by depending on whether it is Windows or Mac or whatever. Right? If it is Windows, you should go for it. If it is Mac, brew install git should do. Right? Even those commands are available here. Okay, even those steps are there. Download git from, go to this page, everything is there. So you should go for that. If it is Windows, depending on your type of operating system, download the executable and run the executable. I believe it is self-explanatory and everyone is very clear of downloading the executable and running it. But still, here are the steps on how to do it on Windows. Okay, like it will run a git bash. All the steps were here. Actually, this is one notes, right? You will have one more thing called lab notes. This is lab assignments. There will be something called lab notes, right? If you go to this lab notes, I think I am seeing this same page. One second. Mm. This lab notes. Okay. So from your LMS, here from here, if you go to the lab notes, there are also documents available here. Okay. And one more thing, whatever presentation we have covered yesterday also available there. There is issue loading it. Okay. So here is the installation on Windows with the screenshots. If you still need further help, okay, on it. So Git installation, how do you download that executable, run the executable, everything is here. Run the executable, go to your start menu and run Git bash so that you should see our Git bash window launching, right? All the steps were available. Even here, the presentation I used, the architectural diagram, everything were available here. Right? Do you see all of these things? These are for your reference. And one more thing, this architectural diagram should be kept in your mind throughout. Right? You should remember this throughout. Like whenever you are working with Git commands, you should refer to this diagram. So all of these are available in the form of notes, everything available. Not only that, just because we are on the same page, I want to show you one more thing. Yesterday's presentation was also available here if you want to go through. Okay. So that's how you have the help available in installing on Windows if you still need more help, and Mac and Linux. You have all the steps, right? So if it is Windows, you should launch your Git bash. As it is a Mac, like if it is a Mac, you have to launch your terminal. This is my terminal. Okay, launch your terminal. That's all you have to do. Now, okay, Git is installed. You can confirm it with by running the Git version. Okay, you see the Git is installed, right? Because I already have it in my system. Now, okay, fine, Git is installed on your system. Now, how do you use Git to track a project? Maybe you should have some project folders, right? ls is a Linux command. It will list all the files and folders. If you are not, you see, we'll have a separate lesson, separate topic on this Linux basics. I'm just showing you because those are just very simple ones for now. Otherwise, if you are not comfortable, go to the GUI part. Okay, you can also. Okay, you can just visualize this way, right? No worries. Okay, you can use this way. You don't have to use Linux if you are not comfortable until we learn. So these are the list, and you need to have some folder which you'll version control with Git, right? Maybe my project where, I mean, maybe a folder where I have all my project files, right? So you may use this, some of the files or folders which you want to version control. To keep it clean, I would like to create a folder here, so that I want to use that as the project which will be version controlled by Git. So you can just create new folder this way from the UI, from the user interface, or else I would prefer doing it. mkdir means make directory. These are very basic Linux commands. Okay, if it is Windows, yes, you can use it from UI, user interface, or else you can use your command prompt to do that, or git bash also. You can run those small Linux commands. Okay, I'm going to create a folder called git demo, or else maybe it might be your project, app project, some name where you'll keep all your project files. Because Git is installed, but you have to tell Git which project, I mean, which folder it has to version controlled. Am I correct? So I'm creating this. I'll put all my, I want to go to this folder, cd git demo. Okay, that's how you go. PWD, present working directory. It will show you in which folder you are on. If you are not comfortable, happily go to the user interface and go to the folder we just have created it. Okay, we just created, I think I did not create on the desktop. I created it somewhere else. Once again. Okay, now on the desktop, I'm creating it. Git demo. Okay, go to that folder. So present working directory, I'm in the git demo. If you are comfortable this way, you can also go here. So that's an empty folder because I don't have anything here. You may create some files, whichever you are comfortable with, or else simple text files also will do, because our interest is to learn version control any files. It's not the interest of creating some particular file. So you may create any files. Okay, fine. I'll put all my project work here. But how do I tell to version control this particular folder, right? How do I tell this is my project, please version control? That's where this is just a normal folder till now, but now I'll run git init. Git init means whenever I run this git init command, that particular repository wherever you're running this command becomes a local repository. This is a git demo folder, or it could be a project folder. Give some name, whatever you want. Now, if you run git init, this becomes a local repository, right? And Git will be tracking all the files. This is a way to create a local. I told you, right? An empty local repository can be created this way. So if you run git init, you can run these commands in the git bash if it is Windows. Commands, concepts remain same, whether it is Windows or Mac or Linux. So go to run git init. It tells you initialize empty git repository, means local git repository is created. And if it is a local repository, you should be seeing something called .git folder. .git means hidden folder. If .git hidden folder created means, or later on, maybe wherever you see .git folder, that particular folder is a local repository. Okay, let us see if it is there. ls will not show because it's a hidden file. To see the hidden files, ls -a, another Linux command. Again, if you want to only use UI, you can use this, like git demo. To see the files, hidden files, uh, command shift dot, yeah. Command shift dot in the Mac will show you. If it is Windows, there is an option to see hidden files. See, .git is there. So git demo is nothing but your local repository. As per our understanding,
What's the command for the MacBook to show the in GUI
command shift dot.
in Windows?
In Windows, there will be options here where you will see the size and all. You can right click at the top file menu to see hidden files. When you open it, there will be at the top file of view options. Under the view, if you go, there will be an option to show hidden files. Okay. So this is your Git demo is your local repository. And we discussed that it's the same staging area also, right? We'll come to that part also. First, let's consider, yes, it's a local repository. How do you confirm its working directory and all, we'll see. So local repository is created, fine. Okay, then let us create some files as well. Okay, some text files should be fine. Okay, you can right click here, create a new file, or else I would like to use the Linux commands to create the files touch file1.txt. See, you can prefer using UI. Don't worry about these Linux commands. They'll be taught separately again. Okay, but just listen the commands. I mean, just try to understand what it is. That should be fine. Touch will create a file. See, file one. I'm just creating a simple text file. File is created. If I just created a file means, where is this file? Can you tell me with respect to the architectural diagram? Just created a file means?
Working directory.
Working directory. And how do you know? How do you confirm Git status? Git status will tell you where is this file. Git status. See, ignore all of this. Just come to this. Untracked. It is untracked. Git knows there is a file called file1, but it is not tracking it. Git know there is a file, but it's not tracking is what it is telling you. It is giving you a hint. Git add that file. Okay, so where is the file now? Untracked file means where is this file?
Working directory.
That's why it's called both local and working. It's same folder, physically same folder. Am I making sense? See, these basics are, I'm sorry. These basics are very, very important. I see people using it, people doing mergers, PRs, and they'll create the PRs, they'll do mergers, lot many things. They lack these concepts. If some error is there, if they fall into some error, troubleshooting, they can't. Right? So the concept should be very clear. Git is a very easy tool and you will enjoy using it if you know it thoroughly. So try to focus on these things. I'm spending some more time here because these are very important. Untracked file means it is in the working directory. Okay, fine. It's giving me clue. Let us do that. Git add file name. Okay. Okay, I have done that. Now again do status. See, unlike ignore this .ds store. Okay, that's a default file in my Mac. Just ignore it. Don't follow it at all. Okay. So coming here, only this much you have to look into. So it tells you changes to be committed, right? And it tells you, it's not telling untracked, it doesn't know, isn't it? Have you seen the different, have you seen the difference in the message? Changes to be committed. To be committed means where is it? Always bring up your architectural diagram. This should be in your mind. Changes to be committed.
Staging area.
Staging area. So that's what staging area, local repository, they are one and the same, right? So it is one and the same. So, okay, fine. Let us commit that. Clear will clear the screen. Okay. Now git commit. Minus M is mandatory. M means message. You have to provide some commit message. Like first file or something like that, so that you would memorize what changes are those. Okay. Right. So I'm just telling git commit to command. But if you are running it for the first time, it will ask for, okay, whenever you run this git commit minus M, it will ask you for some details. For me, it will not, because this is not my first time on this system. Let me run this first. See, it has done git commit, but what it will ask you is to put the username, because it has to track username, email ID kind of details. I'm sorry, it is just a second. Many things are open. I'm checking for the browser. Okay, yeah. So all those commands were here. See, these are the commands. Before running the commit, configure your git with username and password. You have to run this. Git config global user dot name your name, git config global user dot email your email ID. You have to provide these details only once for the first time, one time job, one time task. Okay, and then it will allow you to commit. You don't have to do anything. When you run this right away, it will anyway prompt you to put those details. You have to run those comments. Done. Now, once it is done, yes, now ignore this, I told you, right? So it will tell you like a clean. Clean and clear means your whatever changes in your local are there in the whatever changes are there in the working directory are there in the local repository. That's the meaning of it. Just let me add a dot means it will add everything. Everything means all the files. I just want to show you this. So I'm committing that dummy DS store file. See, this is what you will see on branch master. Nothing to commit. Means whatever in the staging area and whatever in the local repos were moved to local. Whatever in the working directory, whatever in the staging area were moved to local. Is this much clear, everyone? Shall we repeat it with another file so that you should be more clear about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, git ls files is the command which will show you files in the local repository. Okay, see file1.txt you can see. Okay, so let me create another file so that it should be crystal clear for everyone. See, like we already have one file. Let me create one more. Touch file2.txt. It will create one more file. Let us run git status. See? Again, do you see that? Untracked file. File 2 is untracked. Git is not tracking it. Git knows there is a file, but it is not tracking it. Now, can you tell me where is this file?
So
I
this is
want
working.
answers from everyone.
Working
Everyone should
Working
This is working
directory.
directory.
unmute, speak up, use the charts, be attentive, interactive so that you will be understanding thoroughly. It is in the working directory. ls ls will list all the files, right, in the folder, but git ls files will list only if it is in the local. See, it's not showing file 2. Do you see the difference? One way to check is with git status. Another way is to check is git ls files to see the position, to see where your files are. Okay, physically in the same folder always. Okay, fine. Now what should I do?
Git add.
Add this. Now if you do status, what should it say? It will ask us to go and commit. Changes to be committed. Changes are in the staging area. You have to commit it. And also when you see git ls files, it will be there now. It will show in the staging area local repository. Perfect. Now I would like to comment git commit -m. Message is important. At a later point of time, if you know what this commit has done, message should give you some clue. Okay, this is about creating some second file, some kind of clue. Right, so I have committed that, move to local repository. At this point, it should tell you it is clean repository, working tree. That's what I told you, right? Git tree, Git working tree is clean. Whatever changes in the local working directory, staging area are all committed. Got
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, after staging, right?
Mm,
And if we want to again unstage, right? So
mm.
we need to do some changes, right? And it will be unstage again, right?
There is a
Do we?
command will
Uh,
unstage, correct.
correct. No, do we have a command to unstage?
Yes, we have. We'll go to that reverting, going back in some
Okay.
time. First, let's learn forward things. How to go back, we will learn that. Okay. I'll show you that. History will give you the list of all the commands we have executed. So these are the simple commands we have done. Like first create a file, then add it, check the status, check the ls files, then commit it, and so on. So right, whatever files I have now are in the local repository. And
So every
repository,
tool,
yes,
yeah. So every tool like Git and all those tool Ansible and all those things, they comes with their Linux command, right?
these are not Linux commands, these are Git commands. Why I'm telling you those are not Linux commands are these Git, whichever starting with Git are all Git commands. Those are same on Windows or Mac or Linux. Those are not Linux commands. Only this is a Linux command. ls is a Linux command. Touch creating a file is Linux command. Clear is a Linux command. Okay, these are not Linux commands. This is git CLI. It is same. Those are git specific commands.
Okay. So I mean, if we have to refer, suppose all the commands refer to Git. So I mean, any link to refer all those Git commands?
Where to see all those commands is your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to see all the Git commands we are used, we have the notes here, or else there is a Git cheat sheet where you can see. I'll share the cheat sheet. Git manual where you can see all the commands.
This is CMD, right? We are using in CMD, right?
This is not CMD. This is not command prompt. You will have command prompt in your Windows. Okay, this is terminal on my Mac, and you should run all these commands not on CMD, on a Git bash. If it is Windows, okay, let me clarify this. If it is Windows, I have shown you installation step, right? After that installation, you should go to start menu and run git bash command. Run this command. It will give you a window. That's where you should run all these commands. Okay. If it is Mac, it is called terminal. This is a terminal window. For anyone new to these things, I'm just explaining this. Git bash is a window. When you run this command, it will open bash window where you should run these commands. If it is Mac, it's a terminal window. Clear? If you still are not clear about this, like that's what I have shown you. The installation, but once you do it, it will be clear because you haven't installed it till now. You are getting those questions. See, on the Windows here, once it is installed, go to start menu, run this git bash like this in the start in the search. Git bash will be shown. If you open it, it's a git bash window. Got it now?
Yeah, ma'am. And for Mac only, we need not to require Git bash, right?
You don't have git bash in Mac. That's what Windows Git Bash, Mac just terminal. Also, you don't install Git Bash separately. When you install Git in Windows, you will get that Git Bash. Okay, see here are the steps. Just download the executable, double click the executable. It will go through this wizard. You should keep hitting next. See, keep hitting next, next, next. Finish. That's all. Once you do all these steps, you will see Git in the start menu. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If it is Mac, one command, homebrew. All those things are here. If it is Mac, simply brew install git, launch your terminal window. If it is Windows, click on this, it will download the executable, run the executable. If it is Linux, installation varies, right? But the commands, concepts will be same. Hope this much is clear, everyone. Like what is your local repository? What is your working directory, staging area? Is this much clear, everyone? Can I get a confirmation? Clear till this part, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Right? So we have created some files, we understood that like how it works in working directory, moved it to staging area, local repository. Right? It's not always about creating a file, right? In reality, we may be modifying the files, we may be deleting the files and all, correct? So let's see first, how do you modify a file? Means edit a file. Here I already have two files, right? If I make some modifications on the existing file, how Git works, right? Let us talk about that. But before talking about this, I would like to show you another great advantage with using an editor. See, these are simple text files. If you are already into some programming, you may create your own program files or dummy text files will do until we create our own Kubernetes manifest files, our own Terraform files, right? Until then, you may use this. But like creating the file this way, visualizing this file with this way with ls, or even in the Windows user interface, you have to check like this. If you want to edit, you have to open in a notepad or notepad plus plus or Word document and do it, right? Rather than using all of those editors. Notepad, Notepad++, these are all editors, right? Listen carefully, please. I don't just want to confuse you. This is the additional part. You should not, you can be using any of those editors, isn't it? Like Notepad to edit your files, or Notepad++, or else if it is Mac, you might be using Notes app, whatever. You might be using all of that. But let us use, these are, what are all these? Editors, right? Just to edit your files. So there are professional editors available, like VS Code Editor, Visual Studio Code Editor. Full form is Visual Studio Editor. Or else you have IntelliJ. These are all editors, right? Anyone can use it, not only developers. We can use it for our Kubernetes manifest files or the configuration files. Even text files also can we use it. So this is a better way, professional way to do it. So download this Visual Studio Code Editor, another software, that's all. Okay, again, it is available in Windows, Mac, everywhere. Okay, just go to Google and type in, it's a pretty simple to do that, Visual Studio Code Editor. Okay, you will see this official website. Depending on your operating system, you can install it. If it is Windows, just click on this, it will download it. Mac also, or Linux, anything, you can download it and just open it, that's all. Once you open it, for the first time, you will get a window like this. Trust me, it is so convenient to use. It's not just for developers or someone you should modify only Python files, nothing like that. Any files, it gives you a lot of ease and comfort, a professional way of using it. If you learn it, you will never use other editors like for managing it. So this is how it would be. Go to File, open your folder, whichever your version controlling with Git. What is the folder we are version controlling? Open folder on the desktop. This is the one, right? Just open it. See, you will see all the files, all the folder like this. Also, till now we are launching terminal, Git bash separately, folder separately, everything on a single window. You can launch your terminal from here. Right? That's all. Isn't it so convenient to see your files? I'll show you all the advantages. Let me run Git status. It is showing you like this, right? Now, let's say I'll modify this file. Modifying is very easy. I'm just modifying this line here. Okay. See, this is another advantage of Git. It tells you this is modified. In the CLI or in the earlier folders, it wouldn't show like this, right? Okay, so you can see here it is yum. If you keep the cursor, it will tell you it's modified. Okay, fine. I made some modification. Git status. Do you see that it tells not staged, unstaged? Means unstaged changes means where would be those changes?
Working
Working
directory.
directly.
Working directory, right? So the point to tell here is either it is a new file or an existing file, or you are deleting a file. Your changes travel through the same path. First, it will be in working directory, staging area, local repository. But there is a difference. It's not telling untracked. Untracked, it will tell if it is a new file. It's not a new file, right? So this is another advantage of using Visual Studio Code, VS Code Editor. It will show you the files on the left, Windows File Explorer, where you can see the status of the files. Of course, you can see like this as well, everything on the single pane, which will help you traversing easily.
Preethi,
Yes,
so
I can increase the font. Just a second. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, can you see now bigger font? Okay, so this is the file and it tells you that this file is modified, changes not staged. Okay, that's the difference between untracked and unstaged.
Madam,
This
so right now it is in working path only, right? Working stage. I mean working directly.
working directory, correct. Yes.
Okay. So working directory itself only we can able to change, right? Otherwise we can't after commit or after move the local repository, we can't change anything, right?
We can change. We did right. We already moved this to commit. Already these changes are in local repository, right? Now
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
modifying this file. It is
Okay.
same. Git demo is a local repository. Git demo is a working directory. Same folder. I already committed it, but later on
Okay,
now
okay.
I'm making some
I'm
change.
okay. That's fine. I actually, if I edit some file in working directory because it is already existing the file, then again I need to commit, right?
Yes, you have to. Correct.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
untracked means for a new file for the first time, it will show you untracked. If file is already there in the staging area, already it is in the staging area, already it is there in the local repository. So it will be showing like unstaged. Unstaged means not staged, that's all. But both are in working directory only. This could be an important interview question also to check your thorough, deep understanding on the concepts. This is also an important from the perspective of interview. Got the difference between unstaged and untracked? Sorry, unstaged and untracked. So what you should do, it is telling you commit and add. You have to add it, commit it. Same old story. Whether it is a new file or modification, this is same. Okay, here also you should do the same, git add, git commit. Or else, because it's not a new file, you can do with a single command -am flag. -am means add and commit. -a -m -am add and commit. Because it's not a new file, you can do it, but you cannot do it for new files. Am I clear? Understood, everyone? Now it is asking me to add and commit. I can do either ways. Maybe I can do separately git add, then run git commit, or else let me show you this one now. Git commit -am means add. It should be first added to staging, then commit is what I'm telling. File modification. Okay, perfect, done. Here on the Explorer, do you see that M is gone? Right, that's another advantage. Like that's the advantage of this VS Code editor. Status, it's clean. Am I clear? All of you?
Yes, ma'am. So when it is highlighting as M, it means that it is not modified. I mean, like it's not commit.
That's what. Yes.
Okay.
See, you don't have to rely solely on that. You can run git status as usual. Don't consider it like an additional point. It will be self-explanatory. As you keep on doing, when you keep your cursor, you will identify it. Okay.
Sure.
Just whenever you modify this, M will be shown. Once it is committed, you will not say anything. You will just follow that along. That's just visually you can understand where is the file. That's all. Without running this command also in VS Code editor. Same thing in the folder also, if you want, you can do it. If you want to check the content, everything is same. VS Code editor gives you more flexibility. Initially, it may be like a new thing for you, but you will be very much used and you will feel comfortable. See,
Ma'am,
same
sorry,
for Notepad.
sorry for disturbing. Ma'am, can you please explain this one? Git commit space -am. I mean,
If you want to add and commit together, you can
okay,
use this git
okay.
commit.
Even it is a single command, right?
Yes, rather than
Okay.
running like this, add and commit separately, it
Yeah,
will
ma'am.
do single command. But you can
Oh,
use only to unstaged files, not for untracked. For the first time, you can't use it,
okay, ma'am. Okay.
right?
Yeah, right.
So the focus today is we just discussed about working directory, staging area, local repository, how your changes navigate from working directory to staging area to local repository. I don't want to take more today, but I'll just show you one last command. Till now you are running commits, right? Every commit command will create a commit ID, which will be unique. If you want to see what all the changes happened, git log. See, I made bunch of commits today, right? So it will show you all those. This is the commit ID and commit message. Date, I told you, right? Detailed logging, July 28th, changes made by Preethi Dovala. That's my ID on the Mac. because these are only local changes, all changes are my own. Remote also, it will show the remote changes also if you have any. As of now, I don't have it. It will show you history of commits, commit message, because after 2 months, I don't understand what this 5AA9 is. If I put some meaningful message here, I can understand, oh, I made this to commit first file, kind of. That is the importance of M flag. If you want to see, I don't want a detailed log, I want a brief log, git log one line. See, just the first 7 characters of each commit ID, commit message. We will work more on these log commands, okay? Just ignore it. We will deep dive into that log part tomorrow. Just ignore this much. Focus till this part for today. Whatever commands I have used, okay, whatever I have explained, including the explanation, will be available here. What is the expectation for tomorrow? Do you know what is the homework?
Install Git and
So, first go to, yes, exactly. Go to Git day 1. Follow these steps, set up your installation, learn the staging area working. Same commands, execute the same thing. See, differences between untracked, unstaged is also here explained thoroughly. Okay, go through this, complete your lab. Only this is your assignment as it is a day 1. Complete your assignment. That is enough for today. Also, when you click here, you will see the quiz. Only go through this Git day 1 quiz. Once you complete the quiz, you can also post your scores if you are okay on the WhatsApp group. That will encourage others. Otherwise, just let us know you have done that. That is also fine. Okay, you can retake the quiz again if you have done something incorrectly so that you will master the commands today itself. See, what does git init do? Initialize a repository or commit changes or add files. So you should be practicing and mastering whatever we have learned today by the end of the day. You should be coming tomorrow's class by completing this assignment, this quiz. This is what you have to do before you join the class tomorrow. Any questions from anyone? Everyone, whoever joined the class tomorrow, right, you should complete it. Of course, whoever doesn't join also, you may be missing tomorrow and later on you might be coming. So the point is everyone should be updated, means should be perfect with whatever we discussed today. Watch the recording, go through the assignment, complete your quiz, retake your quiz if necessary, rewatch the recording if needed, master the things before you join. A WhatsApp group is created. You are all added into that WhatsApp group, separate private WhatsApp group, not the announcement ones. Another WhatsApp group. Post your screenshots there if you are stuck up. You should not be blocked. We have a team of people. It's not just me. We have almost 4 people who are working to support your labs, support your hands-on, right? Who are already like working people. So please post your queries. If you are stuck up any sort of questions, post them. Get resolve them, and there should be no hiccups in your hands-on. Okay, and if anyone still are not accessing your LMS, this is most important key part of the training where you will get a complete guidance. Go to your My Learnings, create a free account on preethidevops.com. Go here, view your program. Okay, the recording will be available in some time here. Already yesterday's recording is available here. Okay, yesterday's recording is here available. Today's recording will be under this Git along with the lab assignments and quiz. So get access to this. Even this is available under the lab notes. So even the Windows installation document is there under lab notes. Any sort of help, any sort of navigation help through the portal or anything, go for it. Anyone? So any more questions from anyone in the topics covered today? Is that all clear and good?
Ma'am, once to the portal, just before earlier you were just showing the lab screenshots, right? Can you just guide it once again there?
Yeah, please. Yeah, sure. Just go here. You know this path, right? How to
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
Once you are here, this lab notes will give you that documents. Lab assignment is different. Lab notes is different. This is your assignments. This is your notes. Folder, I mean, topic wise, it is there. And this is your kit. Okay. This is lab notes. This is lab assignments. Any more questions from anyone? So make sure that you're all into the WhatsApp group for hands-on. Okay, that will help you to complete your hands-on without any hiccups, any challenges. So that is all from my end for today. Anything else from anyone? Any questions? Any sort of queries you have? You can feel free to let me know. Just let me, before wind up, let me just give a quick recap of what we have done today. Today we just started with what is a version control system. Okay, then we discussed why we need a version control system, like who should use kind of, then types of it. And then we have discussed about the architecture of them, architecture of centralized and distributed version control systems, then architecture of Git in particular, architecture of Git. Then we discussed about working directory, staging area, local repository. Then follows Git commands like installing Git, then initializing Git, right? So if any files we have, we will add git commit -m with a message. Then we also have seen git status command. And then if you want to add all files, git a dot add. Dot means all the files, or else any particular file, you'll put the file name. Like file1 kind of, right? So these are the commands we have seen. Ignore the log commands. We will see the log commands again tomorrow. And by the way, we have discussed about unstaged and staged change. I mean, unstaged and untracked changes. And we have also discussed about a command called git commit -a. We have seen, basically, we have understood the concept of working directory, staging area, local repository, how your changes moves to local repository from working directory to staging and to stay from staging to local. These are the things we have learned today. Any questions? Any more questions from anyone?
No.
All right, then cool. Feel
No,
free to reach out to us later on also if you have any further queries. Okay, use the WhatsApp group, complete your hands-on. All right, then we'll close here then. Thank you all. Have a good day. Happy Monday. See you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Preethi, Preethi, share the link for lab notes URL
Okay,
in
sure.
WhatsApp.
This one, right?
Lab notes URL.
Okay, okay, I'll do.
Thank you, Preethi.
Right.
Thanks.
hello, madam.
Yes. Yeah.
Madam,
Hi.
this backup itself, I mean, we only took backup or Git itself took the backup, ma'am?
We haven't taken any backup. Git itself will take care of it. Backup in the sense it will maintain the versions. Like let's say the last version, if you want to retrieve, let's say I have added hi line today, right? But if you want to
Yeah.
get a first version, which is an empty file, you can do that. Okay, we'll see that. Like how do we revert the changes? We will see that.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
All right.